My name is Kiara, aka Kiara's Bookshelf. Welcome if you're new, or welcome back if you're returning. So for this week's video, I decided I wanted to do a reading vlog dedicated to one series, and I'm really excited for it because this is going to be for the One of Us is Lying series by Karen M. McManus. Since the third book is, I believe, the last book in the series, I thought now would be the perfect time to binge it, and I felt like this would be really good content for my channel. I know that this book is about a group of classmates who happen to have detention together one day, and one of them dies and the rest of the kids end up being framed for it, I believe. But that's all I remember, which is exciting because I think as the trilogy goes on, it starts to stray away from this story. So without further ado, let's just get started with the video. So upon rereading this book and just basically restarting this entire series, I have come to the conclusion that as far as this genre, I believe this may be my favorite book and or series of all time, just because of how perfect this is. And I don't know, it's like rereading it and like tabbing it and everything, like it just makes everything feel so nostalgic. And I honestly can't believe I forgot so much of the story, but at the same time, it feels like so much is coming back to me as I keep reading, and I feel like I'm having a lot of like aha moments, or like, just moments where I feel like certain things make more sense with this reread. And so I kind of like that I get to go into this with a completely different perspective. And I decided, since I just reached part 2 of this book, that this would be a good time to talk about it, give you a synopsis, and just, let you know what I'm thinking right now. So I believe I talked about this a little bit in the beginning, but I honestly don't remember because it's been a couple of days since I updated. But this book is about a group of teenagers who all get detention at the exact same time, and one of them, named Simon, actually dies, and it's crazy. I'm sorry, I literally think I forgot to tell you the main characters' names in this book. So basically we have Bronwyn, the brain, Addie, the beauty, Nate, the criminal, Cooper, the athlete, and Simon, the outcast. And so I think, as you can tell from like their titles, they're not exactly in the same friend group, and basically everyone hates Simon. Simon is kind of like a Gossip Girl type of character, where like he literally has a blog or a website and he just spreads everyone's secrets on there, and it is very big at his school. But unlike Gossip Girl, everybody knows that this is written by Simon, but no one really does anything about it. They kind of just want to keep their business a secret, but no matter what, it's like he has eyes and ears everywhere and he just knows everything. So I think that's really interesting, especially because all of these characters have been on his website multiple times. I love how all of these main characters are so different. A lot of them grew up in different backgrounds. Some are rich, some are poor. They're different ethnic groups and things like that. And I don't know, like, I really love everything about it, but especially the relationship aspect of this book I think is really good. So I just reached part 2, which is titled Hide and Seek. Basically in part 1 there has been a lot of info dumping just about all of the characters, just like I said, how they grew up and their background and things like that. But it's kind of showing that they all have a motive for who could have killed Simon, and I think that's so cool because you can see characters getting in trouble with their parents over this and talking to detectives, and I don't know, like it's just something so realistic about it. Like I feel like I'm watching an episode of like a teen drama or something, and it's perfect. I also really like that despite all the drama with these characters, they're all very very likable, and I think that's why like I'm not really like I'm kind of having mixed feelings about like if I want someone to be my favorite or if I want someone to like get framed for this or something, because technically you don't know who killed Simon. But I think it's interesting because since this is a reread for me, certain things are starting to come back, and I feel like I'm seeing a lot of like foreshadowing and things like that for how this book is going to end, and I really want to try to wait until the end of this book to talk about it. And there's going to be so much to talk about because, as I said earlier in the beginning of this vlog, I'm going to read all 3 books in this series, and so I think as the story goes on, like I'm going to just have so much fun updating you on this. And there's 3 parts to this book, but I think I am going to update a couple of times for this book just because part 2 and part 3, if I remember correctly, do get a bit crazy. And so I just really really want to document that and share that with everyone. So if you are interested in the rest of this One of Us is Lying reading vlog, then please stay tuned. Okay, so in honor of me officially starting part 3 of book 1, which is titled Truth or Dare, I decided that this would definitely be the perfect time to give you guys an update on what this book has been about. So part 2 of this story is pretty much the gang of teens who were in detention with Simon getting lawyers. They also have been working with detectives, and they're also being followed heavily by the media because they are being accused of working together to get rid of Simon, which I think is awful. So one of the teens named Cooper is considered to be the all-star of the group. He is looking to be potentially drafted in the NFL one day, and he has been accused of using steroids heavily, and it actually turned out to be true. So that makes him suspect number 1. Next would be Bronwyn, who is considered to be the academic one, and she has been accused of cheating on a test, which I personally don't think is that bad, but she is trying to get into Harvard. So apparently, she stole a bunch of tests from her teacher, and she used it to get a perfect score. And I guess Simon was threatening to release it because he assumed that Harvard wouldn't want her if they knew that she cheated in biology. And then we have Nate, who is accused of dealing drugs, which was true. I feel like everything that they're being accused of has just been true. But I feel like Nate doesn't really care as much, just because, I don't know, like he kind of just is stereotyped as being the guy who has like nothing to lose. So it's just crazy how so many people are guilty in this, and it's kind of perfectly laid out, and the way that Simon was just always able to be one step ahead of things by having other people help him, I think was just crazy. In part 1 and 2, we also get to see a little bit of Bronwyn and Nate's growing relationship, which is, I think, actually really really cute. So they're being like a stereotypical couple, like the guy from the wrong side of the tracks and like the girl with the rich parents, and she grew up in a really nice house, and her parents do not approve of this at all. In fact, they actually want her to stay away from Nate because of this case. They have been secretly texting each other and going on dates and things like that, and mind you, everything is happening while they are still in school, so people have been staring at them in the hallways and like suspecting weird things. I really, really love them together, and so I hope that in book 2 and in book 3 they end up being endgame, just because I just feel like the romance is kind of like a nice balance to this book, and so it's all just really, really cute. One thing I did find strange in part 2 is Addie actually knew how to get the peanut oil that was found in Simon's water, so that did make me a little bit suspicious of her. I also found out that Cooper is secretly gay, so that does give him a motive as well, as far as not wanting certain stories to come out about him. And it seems like Maeve, or Mauve, I'm not really sure how it's pronounced, is better at finding Simon's dark history than the police are, because she ended up finding a random forum page that he was on, and he was basically like promoting violence and things like that, which clearly is a red flag because this was posted before he ended up in detention and things like that. So I kind of like how this is going, and I don't know, it seems like to me that detectives aren't really a lot of help, and it seems like as the relationships grow, hopefully more things will come into the light. So I really, really liked part 2 a lot, and so I am really excited to get to part 3 and then finally be able to start book 2. Hello everyone, so I am here to give my final update for One of Us is Lying book 1, because I have officially finished part 3. So overall, I really, really liked this story. I just feel like the plot really, really seemed to drag on toward part 3, and I found myself starting to get bored with it. I really think that my favorite part of book 1 is just the relationship building as a whole. I just feel like everything felt really realistic. I felt like the whole time I was really reading about high school characters, and I liked that they all had their own home lives and different personalities and dramas of their own, but that it all kind of related in a very similar way. So I guess it kind of all tied together seamlessly. I will say, because this is the first book in a series, I did expect this to end on a cliffhanger, but it actually ended up feeling as if the story was complete. So I am wondering if for book 2 and book 3 there will be like different situations that these characters will be in, which honestly I wouldn't mind at all. I think it would be really interesting to kind of go into book 2 and see what their life is like after the whole Simon situation, and I actually hope that is the case, because I think that would be really refreshing, because I will say Simon was definitely burning me out in this, and I feel like he was really only in it for like 10% of the book in the beginning, so it was just crazy. So now I am officially ready to start part 2, which is titled One of Us is Next, and I have really high hopes for this one. I think book 1 kind of took me a while to get through, so I really hope that book 2 will have like my full complete attention, and that I'll be able to get through this one faster, and I'm just really, really excited about it. So if you are interested in seeing how book 2 and book 3 will go in this video, then please stay tuned, and thank you guys for watching this far. Okay, Okay, so I am filming this video weeks after my last clip of me reading, so I really apologize if I'm like just super weird right now. I feel like it's so weird to be like in front of a camera. And I wasn't going to film today, but I decided like I really want to finish this video. It's been taking me like a month and a half to film, and I really hate when like videos take this long, so I am just really trying to power through this reading slump and just get this done. So I officially finished One of Us Is Next, and I definitely will say I was really hooked by it the first half of the book, but then towards the end, I just found myself kind of losing steam. And I feel like this is really becoming like a really common theme in Karen McManus's books now. And I don't know if it was always there or if maybe my taste is just changing as far as this author and this genre, but I just feel like everything is really dragging on. It just seemed like I can start to feel when a lot of stuff is just filler, and I think that's kind of a problem with a book like this because the filler feels like it's in the middle of the book when everything should be escalating and making sense, and I just feel like there's just so much running around and so many like boring scenes in this book, and that's probably why it was taking me so long. So I am officially going to start the very last book of this video, which is titled One of Us Is Back, and I really don't know how I feel about it. Like, I think I'm excited because this will not be a reread. This is a brand new book that I just haven't read yet, so I kind of can go into it with a fresher mind. But I also have low expectations because this second book had that pacing issue. Hopefully, it will kind of feel a little bit more like the first book as far as um the drama and the pacing, but I guess we'll see. I'm not really sure how to feel though. It is split into 2 parts this time instead of 3, which honestly I'm really happy about. And so I am just really excited to see how this book will end. I'm hoping that I will be able to see characters that were in the first book come back in this book, because I think that will be kind of cool to tie everything together. And yeah, I'm just really excited for this. I would just like to take a moment to just really sit in silence and think about the downfall of my love for Karen McManus books, because I'm really disappointed in this one. So honestly, I had like mixed expectations for it, but I will say this book was by far the most boring out of all of them. And after reading this book, I'm really starting to think about my feelings towards book 2. I feel like my main issue with this book is the pacing was extremely slow, definitely the slowest of all the books. And I feel like the entire book felt like filler, kind of like a filler episode in the middle of like a TV show, I guess, which is not good considering this is the last book in a series. If anything, book 2 should have felt that way. So I think that is why I am so disappointed. I genuinely think if the series was a duology, then it would be perfect. I feel like sometimes when authors realize their books are becoming really popular after the second book, they kind of do too much when it comes to like milking the story, I guess. And this is just sadly one of those cases. I definitely think if I were to rate the entire series, One of Us is Lying would definitely be 5 out of 5 stars. And then I think One of Us is Next would probably be 4 out of 5 stars. But as far as One of Us is Back, I definitely think this is kind of like a 2 out of 5. Like, it just really felt like it just was going downhill. And I feel like I said that about One of Us is Next, but like genuinely I think over time, like as I thought about it, I have come to appreciate it more. But I know for a fact I'm not going to feel that way about One of Us is Back. So that's just really, really disappointing. So this has officially been my One of Us is Lying reading vlog. And I just want to say, if you stuck around this long, then thank you so much for watching, because genuinely this took me about a month and a half to do. December just ended up being like a really, really hectic month for me, and it was so much going on. And so I'm really, really happy that I was able to power through it. And I definitely wanted to like give up on this vlog and start a new one, but like I'm really proud of myself now that I finished it, and I am just happy to say that I have been able to cross the series off of my list. And I feel like now I'm really, really excited because I can finally start reading the books from my 25 books I want to read in 2025 video. There's so many exciting books that I mentioned in that video that I plan to read, and I plan to do reading vlogs for. I got a new camera for my YouTube channel as well, and so I'm really, really excited for the next stage in, I guess, my YouTube career, I guess. And I'm just really, really excited to film on it. I wanted to just film the rest of this on my phone because I feel like I didn't want the quality to change too much, but I definitely will say, if you watch this video and then you watch my next video whenever that will be uploaded, I wonder if there will be like a noticeable difference in the quality. I definitely hope so, because my camera will be just really, really great. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. I really, really hope that you will continue to watch my channel in 2025 and grow with me, because I have so many amazing things planned for this channel this year. Bye!